I remember the anxiety and palpitations I had the time that I had to tell my family, no, I'm not coming home for these holidays. Welcome to another episode of We Are Here Too, a podcast about mental health and life abroad. Before starting, just thank you for listening to this podcast and connecting with me. It's incredibly heartwarming. You can't even imagine. And if you are new to the podcast, go and listen to more episodes. And if you love what you're hearing, please subscribe and share. I'm aware that I spend every single episode talking about going home in terms of like going to your home country when it's holiday times. And it looks like that actually I'm not taking into consideration people who are actually completely comfortable with it. They're planning their holidays elsewhere or in the country where they're currently living. The reasons why I'm focusing specifically about holidays that involve the home country is because that it's when we have like the richest material, okay, specifically for this podcast, but also because in reality, whenever we go home, we are actually facing the very reasons that brought us to leave the country in the first place. I remember the very first time that actually I had to tell my parents that I was not going home for the holidays. I was 20 and, I just turned 21, I think. It was around Easter time, and my birthday is around Easter. Sometimes, some years, it is around Easter. And my parents were like asking if I was going home. Actually, I don't even think they were asking. I think they assumed that I would go home for Easter / my birthday. And I remember that time I decided, oh no, I'm actually going to travel with one of my flatmates at the time, Becky. I'm going to visit her family. Like, I just want to visit the south of England. And I had no idea what went through my mind. And I just lied. I lied to my parents. I told them, no, I'm not coming. And I made up such a massive lie rather than actually telling them, I'm having a good time here. I just want to stay. It's not going to last long. It's only 6 months. I'm coming back in June. You know, I just want to enjoy these as much as I can. But I couldn't. There were so many things that were happening for me that I couldn't communicate. I'm actually having a good time. But I do remember the dread, the anxiety that I was living because I thought I thought I was not going to be understood. I thought I was not going to be acknowledged and appreciated that actually that was, I thought was best for me at the time. I thought that I was actually going against like family tradition. We spent all the festivities together. Like, as far as I could remember, up to that point, I never celebrated festivities outside of my family and aside of my family traditions. So for me, going against it for my birthday and Easter, of course, lying implicated me terribly and heavily. You know, once you lie, there's no way out. Like, you have to continue lying, hoping that, you know, eventually people will forget. Right? That was my trajectory. And now, of course, I'm in a different space and I have different relationship with my parents. I'm much more upfront and open with whatever decisions I'm making. I'm more autonomous. I spend so many festivities outside of my home country. I think my very first Christmas with them back again was literally like last year that I managed to spend Christmas Day with my family since I moved to Scotland, realistically. So we're talking about 2012. But that's another story. But yet again, it's still about holidays. It's still about home country. And it was still about my feelings towards my home country and also the feelings towards my new country. I wanted to experience that. I didn't want anything else. And if you listen to episode 5 on homesickness, for me, the time of my Erasmus was a time of like joy. Like I loved everything about it. I was trying to live a life that I didn't want to interrupt. Like, I got this. It's great. I love it. Don't just get in between there, and for me, going home was actually just that. And I lied as well in order to protect it. I wanted to protect my joy. It took time and effort on both sides for the relationship to improve and to reach a point where we're at now, where there is understanding and acceptance that we won't always have the outcome we wish for certain festivities or celebrations. We are accepting now that, we are autonomous in the way that we decide how to spend our time. What surely aided the process was being clear and transparent and in a way also known within myself that, I was speaking from my truth, which meant learning what my needs were and learning how to communicate those needs in a way that felt truthful for me, but also kind and compassionate. I'm done being asked to do things every time that I come around. I want to have rest as well. I would be more like, guys, I really need rest. I had a lot going on at work, in my personal life. I need to chill. And this conversation for sure was not possible when I first moved abroad. For sure it was not possible in my first 2 or 3 years because I was not dedicating time to actually try and save this relationship. And for a very long time, I didn't want to. I just wanted to be my own person, away from them. I basically wanted to live my life and learn how to be me without them. But then what happened for me, and I appreciate that that may not necessarily be what everyone envisions or wants in their life for themselves. But for me, I really wanted to reestablish a connection. And again, it starts from us, because no matter then what the outcome of our attempts to reconciliate is, we know for a fact that actually we did everything we could. And this comes with a certain sense of calmness, which is very difficult to explain. In a way, we are not allowing this situation to have power over us, because we have already explored what triggers us, what is sending us to pieces, what it is that we need, what it is that it's giving us joy. We already explored who we are in relation to this and in relation to many other things in our lives. And it comes with like a sense of power and ownership of our own life, that whenever we then positions ourselves and we try to confront these situations with our family and dear ones, we are already starting from a place of equality, or it will feel like more equal, rather than feeling like I'm coming in feeling too vulnerable, too exposed, too fearful that things may not go in the way that I wanted them to be. But rather you will start from a place of like, I did my work, I went down my own journey, and this is okay. I am okay. Of course, you may be sad for the outcome, and it can, upset you. Of course, like if you want to reconciliate, it's upsetting what it feels like the people are not necessarily on the same wavelength with it, or their way of reconciliation is a bit more blamey than maybe the one that you are offering, but you feel calmer. Although I have like memories of that very first time where I actually didn't make it home and I was experiencing so much dread, there were times in the years that followed that actually were quite difficult, where I really did want to go home and I couldn't. And we all know there are so many reasons why we cannot go home. There could be a relationship breakdown with any member of the family. Maybe in your own family, there is a relationship breakdown, and actually you cannot leave in that moment. You can just not leave because you have to deal with whatever it's going on for you. There may be a shortage of resources. You may have no time. Maybe you're working and you cannot ask for time off. Maybe you already booked up all of your holidays and there was no space to visit your family. It happens. At times I remember I was actually booking my holidays and I was doing like a sort of layover at home. So I could just say one plane ticket and I would stay home for, I don't know, 24 hours, 48, something like that, right? Like just so I could say, yeah, hi folks, I'm around, I'm off ski, goodbye, right? So that was like basically the point. So I could show my face. There could be no capacity, right? You may be so full of everything else going on. That maybe going home is so much hassle. You know what's going to happen and you just decide, I just cannot deal with it. I want to stay where I am in this moment. Or maybe home is an okay place, but everything that is going for you in your new life, in your new country, is so much that you don't have literally headspace to organize your time back home. And that could also be incredibly hindering. We then have to think about maybe there are health and safety concerns and you cannot travel. Let's think about the pandemic, issues around visas, issues around everything that is happening in either country, from political turmoils to climate crises affecting the place where you live. These can also be things that impact your ability to come and go. And I appreciate that those situations may have, I'm sure they actually have different nuances. And sometimes it's difficult to explain those nuances to dear ones when you decide not to go and they are aware that actually your life is potentially a risk. And how do you navigate there? What type of conversations do you need to have? And this is for sure another layer to conversations that we're having today with this episode. And with this, we are at the end of episode 6. There are a couple of considerations that I would like to offer that I made when creating this episode and with my experience of life abroad. One being always consider your needs, and the other one, always consider the emotional impact going home would have on you and act from it. I'm aware at times it's very difficult to compromise that, and we are still asked to do things which are very much against our needs. And I'm not here to say it's any easy, and I'm not here to say that it's actually easy to work you through with your dear ones and friends and everything left in your home country. I'm simply saying this, work on you and put in your effort, and no matter the outcome, at least you will know that you did it for you. You need to bring everything to a closure, whether the closure means having a good relationship or re-establishing relationship with your home country and with your dear ones, or whether that means I'm gonna cut bridges and that's the end of it. At least you're gonna work for you and you are gonna feel better in the long run. And thank you for listening. See you in a couple of weeks. Bye.